Hi guys, it's Cynthia, and today I want to talk with you about something a little bit different. Normally I'm here showing you hauls for eBay, but today I want to talk about pop culture Poshmark. If you're not familiar, Poshmark is a selling app very similar to eBay, except that it is clothing based. There are a few other items you can sell, makeup, and some accessories, but basically it's about clothing. And just in case you go on there and look, some people do sell other items, but it is technically against the rules. So we are strictly talking clothing here. Now, if you followed me at all, you know that I've often said, I'm not the clothing girl. I'm not the clothing girl. And for a long time, I resisted Poshmark. I tried it with some Halloween costumes I had. I had a very hard time with the very first person that I sold to, and it really put me off. But almost a year later, more people were using the system, and um, I thought, let me just try it again. And it worked. That's all I can say. And I will explain to you what I mean by that. Now, first of all, let me explain my Poshmark point of view is again very, very different from what most people will tell you. Because, with a few exceptions, I don't change a lot of what I buy to suit Poshmark. The buyers on Poshmark are very trend and brand oriented. They do a lot of things that so if you sell things that are very on trend, you're going to do much better. So most really successful Poshmark people, Poshmarkers, Poshers that you see on YouTube will be showing you hauls of some really top brand women's clothing, and they have hundreds of things listed. It's a that's their process, that's their job. Now, I use Poshmark as a secondary source to my eBay store. So I primarily still buy with eBay in mind, and anything that is clothing, I double list to Poshmark. The downside of this is you totally have to remember when something sells on either store that you go and take it down off the other one, especially if it sells on Poshmark. If you forget to take it down on eBay, you will really get dinged over there if somebody tries to buy it on there after you've already sold it. So, what that means is I primarily sell my pop culture t-shirts and um, here on Poshmark. And as I said, we go through, you're going to see a few other pieces, but I'll explain those. The reason I wanted to talk with you guys today is I think that my technique, I'm not really sure what you want to call it, my outlook on Poshmark is quite different than your average seller. Number one, not even just number one, mainly because I do have this pop culture bent, which isn't, the biggest thing that people buy on Poshmark. Mostly, like I said, because they look for brand names. So if you're just selling a t-shirt that has a picture of cat on it, you've got to hope that either someone finds your store and just flips through what you have, or that they're searching literally for the word cat. Because it's not really like eBay. There are some filters, but I don't really like them. I don't think they work really well. So you're a little bit at the mercy of having items that people will actually search for. And I think I'm going around in circles. So let me kind of just dive in. So this is my Poshmark store. I'm Cynthia Little on Poshmark. As you can see, I'm still all about Hollywood and movies and all of that. Poshmark, I have 250 listings, it says. I think that means, I think that does include sold listings. Poshmark's really weird in that your sold listings stay in your store so people can see what you've sold. It's good if somebody wants to look at you and see if if you're new or old at this, but it's kind of a pain after a while because you have all this stuff stacking up. The other thing that's kind of a pain is Poshmark does not allow you to just move items and group them in categories like you can if you have an eBay store. And I like to group in categories for my own sanity because especially if I sell something on eBay and I need to come over here and take it down, I can't find it unless I group by categories. Plus, I just like it better. Uh, so let me show you what I mean. The top half of my store are some items I just listed we're going to talk about in a little bit. Let me go down here. I know I said I don't sell other stuff, but here, let's go to my Disney. So I created, and a lot of people you'll see do this, you create these not for sale blocks that you use to help divide up your store. The tricky thing is you have to reverse share. Now, Poshmark is all about the sharing, and if I don't forget, we will talk about that in a minute. And by reverse sharing, that means that when you click to share an item, it jumps to the top of your store. So if you want to keep things in a certain order, you have to share the entire order in the order you want to go. It's a little crazy. So for example, here's my Disney section. So I've got shirts and it mixes men's and women's because I've got the all listed. You can sort by men and women if you like. That's another thing I don't really care for because a lot of my t-shirts are under men, but women might want to buy them. So hopefully people are looking at everything I have. So more Disney, more Disney, more Disney, more Disney, more Disney. And then we get into my pajamas and robes, which are primarily my Nick and Nora that I adore so much. So let's go back to the Disneys. What I do like to sell Disney. I do sell a lot of Disney items here on Poshmark because again, it's a word people will search. They'll search Disney, they'll search Disneyland. You are supposed to put in the price that an item was retail, and then the item that price that you want for it. And without going into, because you can look this all up somewhere else, but the short version is that Poshmark charges a flat $6.75 shipping fee on everything. So this $20 for somebody who wants to buy it is actually $26.75. So the buyer has to say, do I want to spend $26.75 for this? I don't pay the $6.75. That comes out off the top. And what I do like is when I list this, Poshmark will tell me how much money I'll make from this. So when you're in the eBay mindset and you're thinking fees and shipping, it's a little bit different here and takes a little getting used to. Anyway, I didn't want to get into the whole pricing thing. You can look that up or maybe we'll talk about it another time. What I wanted to talk about was whether or not it makes sense to sell pop culture items, shirts and all those kind of things over here on Poshmark. Now, I said I was going to say this earlier, what I call successful. I have only been selling, not counting my earlier tries that I didn't like, I've been selling solidly since June. So that's what, 8 months, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, because it's not really January yet. So not even 7 months. And in that time, I have netted to me approximately $1,000, which means I sold more than that. I don't know what the percentage is, but call it $1,500 and they take $500 in fees. So I'm taking home approximately $150 a month. Now, that's not huge. I know that's not huge. You can't live on that or anything. However, I have consistent sales. My dollar amount that I'm selling per month is about the same. So I'm doing something right because people are coming back, people are buying, and I have that amount because I've seen a lot of people who say, oh, I have 500 things listed and nobody's buying anything. I haven't had a sale in 3 weeks and all this kind of stuff. So my first response is that there means there is a market for pop culture items on here. I'd say more than half of what I sell comes out of one of these TV, movie, music, entertainment categories that I have set up. For example, I'll show you some of my other ones. So here's my movies. So I've got Star Wars. I've got a mix of t-shirts from different movies, horror movies. As you can see, they all just line up. And then here's like my music shirts. I have a video game section as well. If you're looking for some extra income, especially if you're already selling on eBay, there's no reason not to also cross post, except for the time it takes, obviously, cross post to Poshmark. Not everything will sell over here, and you'll kind of get a feel for it. You know, I had a plan when I started this video, and it's getting really rambly, which I hadn't intended. So let me see if I can get back on track. Yeah, so this is also pop culture. So like these are my, what I call pop culture, but like they're not TV or movie, they're just random shirts. I sell a lot of those. And I would say on average, I'm selling shirts in the $10 to $14 range. Now remember, that's shipping's already paid for out of that. Over and above that, fees do come out of that. So I'm probably profiting on a t-shirt in, I like when I hit about the $7 profit range, which is great because I don't usually pay more than 3 for a t-shirt. So there you go. And then I make up more money by selling some higher price items like hoodies and jackets and things like that. So here's my TV section. And as I said, I think I'm pretty unusual. I know there's other people who sell t-shirts on Poshmark, but I have seen very few stores that are primarily pop culture items. So I think it's a underutilized market. Also, I think most people are listing for women. So when you have shirts that men will wear, more and more men are buying from Poshmark. Plus, women are buying for their men on Poshmark. So it's a good place um, to start out. I feel like because you're not competing as badly with all the trendy women's clothes. So these are a couple of the other weird items that I have in here, and let me explain why I do have these other weird items. So I really like to go to estate sales, and if I see something in an estate sale that I know I can flip on eBay, with exceptions, I'm not buying typewriters and glassware because I can't deal with that. But when I see something I know works, for example, wigs, I pick them up. And if they are something that can come over here, I bring them over. I don't not list them because they're not pop culture, but the majority of my store, just because what I like is. So I have a few items like this. So I definitely have some sales that aren't pop culture based. And then we get down here. Well, here's good. I was trying to figure out how to show you. I'm so dumb. It's right here. So let's take a look at here some of the items that have sold for me since I started listing. So we've got a Mad Hatter hat, and these are in order of how they sold. So this is actually really recently. You'd think it would be Halloween, but recently. This Keith Haring um, hoodie is very pop culture. It's a super artist, sort of retro design. That's great. This is a Sony t-shirt, pop culture. Shawn Mendes world tour shirt, music, again, pop culture. This is Mary Poppins. This is a motocross shirt, farmer's market. This is a movie, Love Simon movie shirt. And you can see the prices again. Now these are the prices before fees, but after shipping. So the only thing that came out of this 20 was Poshmark's fees. Tactical Windbreaker was, again, I just got a great price on this somewhere, so I bought them. I had 2 of them, sold them right away for 19. Fender guitar shirt. Love this Disney crossbody bag. North Face I pick up whenever I find it. This was a great sale. It went for $25. This is an old vintage flannel shirt that I thought would sell for a ton. As you can see, it went for very, very little. But you know what? I got it on a estate sale for probably 50 cents. It was already invested in it. No big deal. Disney, holiday, vintage. This is a Tommy Bahama coat. This was a great deal. I got $65 on this coat. DreamWorks movie, Disney. This was one of my favorite finds. This was a Nick and Nora cowboy pajama set that sold for $50. It was like brand spanking new. It was gorgeous. And believe me, if it had fit me, I would have kept it. Betty Boop, little tiny wallet. This is a good example of small things that you can sell. Now remember, whoever buys this has to pay $6.75 shipping. So if they buy this tiny little wallet, they still have to pay $6.75 shipping, which is why people try to bundle, because if they bought that, say, and that, they could put them together in the box for the same price. Disney, Academy Awards, little baby sleep suit slipped in there, music, more Nick and Nora. I'm not going to keep going, but you have an idea. Star Trek, Star Wars. You can see a good amount of what I'm selling is pop culture. There's a Robert Graham striped shirt, not pop culture, but again, it's snuck in there. As I'm looking through these, I realize I sell a lot of music shirts. I sell more music shirts over on Poshmark than I do over on eBay. So that's something to think about. Give me 1 minute to think. Okay, what I wanted to talk to you about, if you're doing this on Poshmark, is sharing and how I share and follow, which I think, again, is a little bit differently. Not obviously, there's other people who do it my way, but it's a little bit different than the way most people will tell you. The point of sharing on Poshmark is kind of like relisting on eBay. In order to get your item to rise up in the search, you have to share it, because they it defaults to recently shared. So again, remember, I don't want to share things out of order because it's going to mess everything up. So I'm going to find something here that I don't care out of order. Here, let's do one of these little rows. So when you share, actually, I don't want to do it that way. Sorry, I'm going to go back. Little share button down here, share to my followers. Now, when I reload the page, that item will be at the top. The more important thing is when you search, I'm going to search the word supernatural, it automatically defaults to just shared. So somebody, either the owner of this shirt or someone who liked them, just shared this shirt. Let's see how quickly Supernatural changes out. Let's go again. Not that fast at this time of night. It's still the same ones. I like to change this when I'm sharing to just in, which are the new listings, and then I help other people out by sharing their brand new listings. And that helps them get kicked up in the search. They will get a note that I shared their listings, and they may come back and share mine. Now, most Poshmark people will share anything as a thank you to anybody who shares for them. I tend not to do that. I don't know if it really matters or doesn't, but I only have so much time in the world. I tend to share things that I actually really like. Um, in the brands that I like. So I usually will not share lingerie. I don't share just generic jewelry. I tend to share pop culture things. The same kind of items I would sell is what I share. I don't know if that has anything to do good, bad, whatever. It's the way I just is what I do. Technically, when I share, it shows up in my feed. Anybody who follows me sees it, but honestly, nobody's following the feeds in Poshmark. I promise you, they're not. The point of sharing other people's things is in hopes that they will share yours back or come to your closet, see something they like, and buy from you. Because unlike eBay, when you sell something on Poshmark, the money stays in your account until you pull it. So a lot of people use Poshmark as a revolving bank account. They sell something from their own home, and then they use that money to rebuy something new, and that way they can constantly turn over their closet, their real life closet, with new clothes, new old clothes, without having to ever tap their actual bank accounts. So they're basically just trading clothes for clothes in that way. So people are maybe more likely to buy something on Poshmark because they have that credit already there. And once again, I got off the subject of what I was trying to say. So Poshmark does reward you for sharing other people's things. They actually count how many times you share other people's things, and you can get ambassador status and all this stuff. But really, now, I think that all was really worthwhile at the beginning, but the way the site works now, I don't think it's that important. The only reason to share, like I said, is to try to get those people to come to your closet. That's why I share things that are similar to what I have. So let's try that again and I'll show you. Let's go Disneyland. I like Disneyland. I sell a lot of Disney things. So I come in here. I'm going to change this to just in. I'm going to pick here, cute shirt. So the person who is selling this is probably somebody who likes cool Disney type t-shirts, movie t-shirts, anime t-shirts. So I'm going to share this. They're going to get a note that I shared this, and then they're going to come possibly over to my closet. And because they like this kind of thing, they're going to find this kind of thing in my closet, and they may end up buying it. That's the theory. Again, whether that's completely true and it happens, I don't know. What I do know is that back in December, maybe in November, every night before I went to bed, I picked a keyword like Disneyland or Supernatural or Doctor Who or Star Trek. And I searched, I went to Just In, and I shared 10 to 20 items. And then I followed most of those people. So for example, let's go back to this girl. We can click on her name and I can follow her. And then I'll go back out. I will pick this person's name. She likes Disney things. I like Disney things. I'm going to follow her. And I would do this for about 10 or 15 people. I know there's poshers who do this like 100 times a day. They'll pick 100 people to follow. You know, they'll spend an hour following people. I did not do that. I spent the time said sharing about 10 to 20 items and following about 10 to 20 items in my specific interest categories, not just random. And I found when I was doing that, I was having sales every couple of days. Now, when the holidays kicked in, I slowed down on that because I had so much going on, and I have noticed that sales have slowed. Now, that could be coincidental, could be because of the holidays. I don't know, but I do know that when I slowed, my sales did slow to some extent. So we're going to find out if it's a coincidence because now the holidays are over, I have started sharing again. Now, let me show you the other way I follow people. Again, most Poshers will tell you they follow everybody who follows them, which you would do. Go back to my closet. They call it your closet in here. So basically, they go to everybody who's following them and they follow them back. Now, here's why I don't like. There's two reasons I don't like this. I think it's silly. Number one, for whatever dumb reason, Poshmark lists everybody who's following you in alphabetical order. And I know it doesn't seem like it, but it does because of these silly explanation points that people put before. So what happens is if your letter name starts with an S, a T, an R, a W, you're going to be way at the bottom, and I'm never going to get to you because I have 5,000 people following me, and I have no time to sit here and check everybody follow, 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 follow. So it annoys me that they don't put the most recent in. And if there's a way to change that, somebody please tell me. I want to see who's following me like from yesterday, because this person could have followed me back when I started in June. They may not even be on the site anymore. I don't need to just make a bigger following number for the sake of following. I need people who are going to be interested in what I do, so they're going to be interested in sharing and buying. So following somebody who isn't even on the site anymore is silly to me. So what I do, let me go back out of here. So I like to follow, again, people who like what I like. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. To me, I feel like the easiest way, let's go Star Wars this time. So let's go to Star Wars. So, and again, I'm going to go with just in because I want people who are current and listing. So once again, I normally just go in here and follow a lot of these people. Like here, this girl's got a couple Star Wars shirts up. She's a Star Wars fan. I'm going to follow her. Look, she's cute. And while I'm in here, just let me share a couple of her items as well. But here's the little tricky thing that I like to do. And I don't know, I don't know if I saw this, somebody told me this or what. If you come down here, you will find sold. And what that does is I'm still in Star Wars, but it has changed to the most recent sales because I'm still at just in, and now these items are all gone. Fine. I don't want to share these because they're missing. What I'm looking for is an item that has a lot of likes because that means a lot of people were thinking about buying the item. Not seeing a lot of them in Star Wars. That's interesting. Usually I find quite a few right out of the gate. Let's just pick this one since it's here. There's 8. That's good enough to start with. So I go into it. It says, hey, this is sold. That's okay. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to find this line. This person and 7 more liked this item. Now on Poshmark, generally somebody likes an item when they're hoping you'll give them a discount because that has become the way the system works. It wasn't how it was designed, but it's how it works. People know if they like it, that the seller has then an opportunity to come in and offer them a discount to buy. So all of these people potentially really wanted this item. I'm going to click on the 7 others. Here they are. These are the 7 people who were thinking about buying that Star Wars shirt. Again, some people just click to be nice, and that's a possibility. But if you're doing this on a regular basis, good chance you're going to hit a lot of people who like what you like. So these guys like Star Wars. So these are the people I'm going to follow because sometime in recent time they were on here, they saw a Star Wars shirt, they liked a Star Wars shirt. Let's pick up Vijaposh as well. Oh, I'm already following her. So does that make sense? This is the logic of this, like I said, is that I'm finding people who think like I do. Those are the people I want. So again, here we are, Supernatural. We're in just shared. We don't really want that. Let's come down and see what's sold recently, because I sell Supernatural shirts. I sell, oh, you know what? Oh, look, this is really cool. Look at this. 42 people liked these Supernatural PJ pants. Now, I sell a lot of things from Hot Topic, so I'm going to click in here, and then I can get down to 42 others. I clicked it by accident, so I'm right on the top, and I'm going to follow all these people. And all these people are going to get a notice that I'm following them, and with any luck, some of them will come check out my store. I also find this is a much faster way to follow a wide range because, again, the names are mixed up. They're probably in order. They're not just all the letter A's at the top. Look at that's funny. Look, I'm already following a whole lot of these people, and you know probably why. Probably because I've followed other Supernaturals, and they're probably the same people. Let's do one more. Let's do these capris. Hunter in training, so cute. 13 people say they like this. See, some of them are crossovers that I already have. I'm gonna follow, 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 follow. Follow, follow, follow. Are you bored yet? Follow, follow, follow. There we go. So I just followed a whole bunch of people. Let's go over to my news, is what they call it. So a couple people are following me. I don't think these are ones I just did. Somebody liked my listing. I think I already sent out, and Lorraine shared my listing. Now see, Lorraine came and she shared this listing, so let's take a look at Lorraine. Now see, I don't share stuff like that, again, just because I don't think it helps me any, and you know, I look for things, like I said, that are in my realm. So she doesn't seem to have a lot of that. Oh, there's a little Disney suit, I'll share that. Well, now I'm into her souls. So, you know, not that I don't like Lorraine, I'm sure she's a really nice person, but she doesn't really sell the kind of things I sell, so I'm not sure that following her is really going to help me any. Not going to hurt any. I mean, I could have clicked the button, no big deal, but I wouldn't spend my time looking for people like that. Here, let's look at one more. Here's Penelope Jean. Oh, yeah, see, I'm following her. I'm not sure why, because again, oh, she's got some angel, yeah, she had some jewelry that was kind of related and some other cute items. So. This is what happens when I do a chat with you guys and I haven't really prepared ahead of time. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Here's my point. My point is, if you sell pop culture items, and you probably do, or you like them because you've been watching my videos, Poshmark is a great place to sell them. People, when you watch any other Poshers, mostly you're going to see they're going to show like the high-end athletic, Lululemon. I can't even remember the names because I don't buy these clothes. They're going to show you all these cool high-end designer brands, and they do sell great on Poshmark. And if you like that kind of clothes, absolutely come over to Poshmark and sell them, because that is a super, super place to do it. But if you're like me and you sell pop culture hoodies and t-shirts and all of that, don't feel like you don't belong over here. You are just as welcome, and people will buy your items. And I think, my personal opinion, if not done a test of this, you will have a lot less competition selling unusual t-shirts than you will selling designer items that other people are all clamoring to sell in the same space. Will you get as much money for your t-shirt as they're going to get for their designer dress? Probably not, but they might have to wait 3 months to sell a $100 dress, and you could bang out a bunch of t-shirts, you know, fast, and get the money, flip it, and move on. Because in the end, I'm really about the flip. I like thrifting. Not that I don't like making money, but I like thrifting. And being able to make money allows me to go thrifting again. If I have to invest money in clothes that do not flip fast, I don't get to go to the thrift store, and that makes me very unhappy. What does make me happy, would make me happy, is if you came over and visited me on Poshmark. I'm Cynthia Lill. You can type that in, Poshmark Cynthia Lill. You can put up there in the search box, you just change this to people, put my name in there, you'll find me. And if you like what I'm doing, follow me. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's okay. You don't have to. If you want to share some of my items, I'd appreciate it. But, I'm going to follow my own advice. If you're a pop culture fan, if you like Supernatural and Doctor Who and Star Trek and Star Wars and all of that, then and Disney, especially if you like Disney, follow me. And if you're selling those items, I'll follow you back. We can help each other out, share each other's closets, and maybe I'll have something you'd like to buy. That is my rambly talk about Poshmark, pop culture on Poshmark today. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. And if you're on Poshmark, why don't you drop the username of your closet in the comments below, and I'll come over and check you out.